And the fact of the matter is, we watched this get right in front of our own face.
But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me.
They served a search warrant on me, which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my.
Katt Williams just did it again. He went there, and this time, he's touching on one of the most controversial celebrity deaths of all time, Michael Jackson.
We're not in a fair fight. We're already outmatched and outgunned at all points.
We all know MJ's story has been wrapped in mystery, scandal, and straight-up weirdness. But Katt is here to set the record straight.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
He's peeling back the layers on what really went down behind the scenes with the King of Pop. So let's dive in. Katt Williams is out here spilling all the tea, exposing the dark side of Hollywood like never before. He's not biting his tongue either. He's dropping truth bombs left and right, shaking up the entire entertainment industry.
And the fact of the matter is, we watched this right in front of our own face. And knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know.
Katt Williams hasn't just called out the alleged conspiracy around Michael Jackson's death. He's also been loud about pushing back against the way black actors are pressured to wear feminine attire in Hollywood.
Then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well.
Katt, known for keeping it real and exposing the industry's secrets, just dropped a bomb that's about to have everyone talking for weeks. The 52-year-old comedian's latest comments come right after Michael Jackson's family and close friends spoke out about the King of Pop's passing.
Knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know. He named his last tour, This Is It.
A video making the rounds online shows Katt Williams dropping some serious truth bombs about the death of Michael Jackson. In classic Katt fashion, he didn't hold back, hinting that the King of Pop didn't just overdose. He was taken out by powerful industry figures, right in front of our eyes. According to Katt, MJ saw it coming and even tried to warn people, but no one paid attention. One of those warnings? The name of his last tour, This Is It. Katt claims Michael chose that name because he knew it would be his final tour. Not by choice, but because he wasn't going to make it out alive. And sure enough, he passed away that same year. The comedian pointed out that MJ didn't announce the tour with excitement. Instead, he looked drained, like he had been fighting against something much bigger than him and had finally given up. Katt believes powerful people in the industry felt threatened by Michael's influence and decided to take him out. And based on the reactions to the video, a lot of fans seem to think he might be onto something. One of them wrote, "This is it. This is why Katt can't be canceled. Nobody would have come up with this joke, but Katt." So when people want to know why they can't make Katt go away, this is it. This chit right her. Another one added, "Everybody laughing? And if you put them on mute." Katt is telling nothing but the actual factual scary truth. Others have also suggested that the industry doesn't take kindly to people like Katt Williams because of his outspokenness, which is why they've tried to cancel him. One fan commented, "Never in a million years did I think that this dude would be a voice for truth and reason. If it was a book or movie, nobody would believe his story arch, but here we are in real life, and Katt is preaching truth. Prayers for this man." Other commenters, like this fan, shared their own reactions to MJ's passing. They wrote, "I was napping when Michael Jackson officially passed. I jolted up from a deep sleep, walked crusty-eyed downstairs to see my brother and grandmother watching the news while they were trying to get word on Michael's condition. I pray he knew Jesus, but more importantly, that Jesus knows him. That's my hope for Michael and that he's performing for the Most High." Tragically, Jackson's journey to reclaim his former glory was hindered by chronic back pain, stemming from an onstage accident in 1997. This persistent discomfort led to his dependence on pain medication, impacting his sleep patterns at the time of This Is It. The responsibility for Jackson's health during this critical period was entrusted to Dr. Conrad Murray by the show's promoter, AEG Live. Dr. Murray, in turn, administered prescription D to address the pop star's health challenges.
Of course, the most hidden treasure trove of his life is with me. But I have protected Michael up till now.
Simultaneously, the production crew harbored concerns about Michael Jackson's apparent frailty, particularly given the demanding expectations placed on him. Recognizing the physical challenges of the arduous rehearsal schedule, there was a concerted effort to encourage Jackson to maintain a healthy diet to sustain his energy levels. According to Untouchable, one individual who closely collaborated with Jackson in those concluding days was Ed Alonzo, an accomplished magician tasked with orchestrating large-scale feats of magic for the show. Alonzo attested that on June 24th, just before rehearsals commenced at 9 p.m., he observed what might have been Jackson's last meal, chicken and broccoli.
I've said nothing that has been inflammatory about my friend. I protected Michael. You see, when I had to meet him at the house with age,
The expectations placed on Michael Jackson to deliver sensational performances throughout his 50-night residency were monumental. While undoubtedly motivated to provide his fans with an unforgettable experience, reports indicated that the singer was facing significant financial challenges. Agreeing to the shows was seen as an opportunity to revitalize not only his career and reputation, but also his financial standing. Consequently, the early rehearsals proved to be demanding, with the king of pop grappling with poor health and inadequate sleep, causing concern among the production team.
Despite the pain and suffering that I've encountered.
As the This Is It tour approached, Michael Jackson faced mounting pressure, missing several early rehearsals. By late June, with opening night in London just weeks away, the stakes were higher than ever. But during his final rehearsal at the Staples Center, those who were there, including illusionist Ed Alonzo, saw a different MJ. He seemed happier, healthier, and fully locked into the performance. The session ran until midnight, covering his biggest hits, and ended on a high note. Jackson even thanked his team, leaving everyone feeling optimistic. But behind closed doors, things were different. Despite his excitement about the tour, MJ struggled with severe insomnia. According to Untouchable, even after that successful rehearsal, he found it nearly impossible to wind down. Dr. Conrad Murray, his personal physician, was responsible for helping him sleep, administering a mix of sedatives, including Valium, Ativan, and Versed, between 1:30 and 3 a.m. But as the night wore on, Jackson remained restless, leading to additional doses. What happened next would change everything.
Michael Jackson never mentioned a single doctor to me who was treating him with opioids, propofol.
Disturbingly, reports indicate that Michael Jackson's final request to Dr. Murray was for some milk. However, this seemingly innocent term concealed a more ominous reality. Untouchable reveals that milk was Jackson's nickname for propofol, a medication to which he had developed a dependency due to chronic pain. Shockingly, Murray administered this substance at 10:40 a.m., marking a tragic turn of events in the life of the iconic performer. In an interview with the Associated Press, Kai Chase recounted the unsettling moment the following morning when she sensed that something was gravely amiss. "I thought maybe Mr. Jackson is sleeping late," Chase said. "I started preparing the lunch, and then I looked at my cell phone, and it was noon. About 12:05 or 12:10, Dr. Murray runs down the steps and screams, 'Go get Prince!' He's screaming very loud. I run into the den where the kids are playing. Prince, Jackson's oldest son, runs to meet Dr. Murray, and from that point on, you could feel the energy in the house change. I walked into the hall and I saw the children there. The daughter was crying. I saw paramedics running up the stairs. Around lunchtime, Murray rushed down the stairs, urgently calling for Jackson's son, Prince. The situation escalated when paramedics arrived and hurried to Jackson's room, prompting the family to gather downstairs, where they initiated prayers. Chase, in a surreal turn of events, was asked to leave the house while Jackson was being transported to the hospital. Chase recalls, "We were all praying, 'Help Mr. Jackson B.O.K.' quote. Then everyone was very quiet." After administering propofol to Michael Jackson and leaving him alone, Dr. Conrad Murray returned to discover that the iconic pop star was not breathing. Despite his efforts to resuscitate Jackson, who had experienced respiratory arrest, Murray was unsuccessful in reviving him. Upon stepping outside on that fateful day, Kai Chase observed a scene of urgency and distress. Ambulances occupied the courtyard, and a crowd had assembled. Chase, who had been hired by Jackson in March, experienced a unique journey with the pop star. Initially let go in May, she returned to Jackson's service on June 2nd. During her tenure, she noted that Jackson's primary focus was on maintaining a diet centered around fresh and healthy food, not only for himself, but also for the children under his care. She said she prepared meals for the family and occasionally for Murray. She said Jackson was in training for his upcoming shows in London and told her, "You have to take care of me." According to Kai Chase, on typical days, Dr. Conrad Murray would bring Michael Jackson the specially prepared fruit juice drink she crafted, accompanied by granola with almond milk. The pop star's lunch, shared with the children, featured a menu ranging from items like spinach salad to chicken. Sometimes Dr. Murray would join them for dinner, which might include dishes such as seared ahi tuna. Chase mentioned that the doctor would consult with her regarding the 50-year-old singer's dietary preferences, ensuring that he ate properly.
Mr. Jackson's juices or some sort of breakfast for him for that morning. So around that time, I noticed I hadn't seen Dr. Murray.
Despite the routine, the only peculiar aspect was the presence of oxygen tanks. Chase admitted to never inquiring about the purpose of the oxygen and emphasized that she noticed no indications of Jackson being on D or experiencing declining health. Normally in the morning, he would bring oxygen tanks from upstairs downstairs, one in each hand, she said. Authorities conducted searches at Dr. Conrad Murray's Las Vegas home and medical office as part of an investigation, which also involved raids of his clinic and storage in Houston the previous week. Pending toxicology reports, investigators are operating on the theory that the potent anesthetic propofol may have played a role in causing Michael Jackson's heart to stop, as per a law enforcement official speaking to the Associated Press. Murray reportedly informed investigators that he routinely administered the D to help Jackson sleep, including on the early morning of June 25th.
I did not spare myself. I am not a perfect man. Neither is Michael.
The official, speaking anonymously due to the ongoing investigation, disclosed that propofol is meant to be administered exclusively in monitored medical environments by trained personnel. Murray allegedly left the bedroom and returned to find the star unresponsive, marking a critical point in the unfolding events under investigation. The gravity of the situation ultimately led to Murray's legal troubles. Police have said Murray is cooperating and have not labeled him a suspect, and his lawyer, Edward Chernoff, has said the doctor didn't prescribe or administer anything that should have K. Michael Jackson. Similar to Dr. Murray, Kai Chase revealed that she had been enlisted to join Michael Jackson for his comeback concerts in London. Interestingly, the request for her involvement came directly from Jackson's 12-year-old son, Prince Michael II. Prince said, "Daddy wants me to tell you he wants you to go to London with us," she recalled. "I said, tell your daddy that I'm pleased and honored." Having completed paperwork and submitted a copy of her passport to the Jackson staff, Kai Chase anticipated departing for London on July 3rd. However, on June 23rd, Jackson informed her, "I'm packed and I'm ready to go." Sadly, just 2 days later, the pop icon passed away. This marked the end of what Chase described as her dream job and a picturesque period in her life. The journey began in March when Katt Williams, Jackson's assistant, contacted her. Initially unaware that the client was Jackson, she was informed that her services as a personal chef were requested. "I couldn't believe it," she said. "I asked him if I was on candid camera. I said, 'Am I being punked?'" Kai Chase explained that Michael Jackson had reviewed her resume, which highlighted her experience cooking for Macy Gray and Jamie Foxx, along with catering a fundraiser for Barack Obama. Jackson was also aware of her multiracial background and the fact that Red Fox was her godfather. However, before officially starting her role, Chase had to undergo approval from 3 additional individuals, the Jackson children. "I came to the house and the first people I met were the kids. They started interviewing me," she said. "They told me, we're into healthy eating." When they approved her, she went to work and we developed a really great bond. Most days, she said, Jackson made a point of having both lunch and dinner with the children, Prince, 11-year-old Paris, and 7-year-old Prince Michael II, known as Blanket, and each meal was preceded by Paris saying grace. After weeks of healthy food, she said she wrote Jackson a note with a suggestion. "I said, what about doing comfort food Saturdays? We could do barbecued chicken and corn on the cob, maybe Mexican food or soul food." She said he loved the idea, but as the concerts approached, healthy eating returned full-time. He said, "I'm a dancer," and he wanted food that would not make him cramp up while he was dancing. She now treasures little notes she received from the children and from Jackson, and a present he gave her. One day, he handed me a little gift bag and said, "This is for you from me and the children." He had given me an iPod Touch because the children told him I still had a Walkman. It had the 25th anniversary Thriller album loaded on it. She said she has visited with the children since Jackson's death, and they are doing well. They have so many cousins to play with. As for Chase's future, she said Jackson encouraged her to write a cookbook, and she has written one tentatively titled Fit for a King. It includes recipes she cooked for Jackson and the story of the time she worked for him. "He was an inspiration to me," she said. 14 years have passed since the sudden death of Michael Jackson at the age of 50, and the basic cause has been established. The 2011 trial that convicted Jackson's physician, Conrad Murray, of involuntary manslaughter revealed that the superstar's demise resulted from a lethal combination of medications in his system, notably an excessive amount of the surgical anesthetic propofol that Murray administered, a substance Jackson frequently used to aid sleep.
During opening statements, prosecutors will argue that Murray showed a reckless disregard for Michael Jackson's life, giving him a lethal dose of the anesthetic propofol.
83 minutes, the doctor, the damage, and the shocking death of Michael Jackson meticulously confirms these details, offering an in-depth exploration of the events between Murray leaving a heavily Jackson alone in his bedroom and the moment Jackson was brought on a gurney to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. Beyond the events of June 25, 2009, the book delves into the various factors that converged over the years, contributing to the untimely end of the King of Pop's life. Authors Matt Richards, a documentary filmmaker, and Mark Langthorne, a former music industry manager, present a book that doesn't claim exclusive access to Jackson insiders or groundbreaking revelations about the enigmatic life of the Moonwalker. Instead, they meticulously connect the dots using testimony and evidence from Conrad Murray's trial, along with previously published media reports and books about Jackson. The narrative spans from the gloved one's reign in the 1980s to his concluding days as an artist grappling with addiction and financial struggles while attempting a comeback for which he was neither physically nor mentally prepared. As far as Michael Jackson was concerned, the 27th of January 1984 was the beginning of the end, Richards and Langthorne write, referring to the day Jackson suffered third-degree burns on his scalp while filming a Pepsi commercial. According to the book initially published last year in Britain, the singer was in such pain that he took Percocet, Darvocet, and, during his subsequent scalp treatments, large amounts of Demerol, all of which kick-started decades of dependence on narcotics. That dependence, coupled with financial difficulties that would compel him to agree to a demanding string of performances in London in 2009, set the table for Jackson to become more reliant on Murray, a doctor facing his own money troubles. Dr. Conrad Murray was not, nor ever would have been, suited to be the caretaker of a complicated patient like Michael Jackson, the authors state. And from the moment they met, their fate was sealed. In 83 minutes, the recurrent theme is the notion that Michael Jackson's demise was not just a result of Conrad Murray's negligence, but was, in fact, an inevitable outcome. The book suggests that previous doctors who acquiesced to Jackson's desire for substances like propofol, and Jackson himself, who seemingly considered himself immune to the associated risks, played crucial roles. While followers of the Murray case and Jackson's fans may be familiar with many of the details, the book's strength lies in weaving all the pieces together into a compelling narrative.
Stunned right now. I love Michael Jackson. My condolences to his family. That's crazy.
The rumor mill then went into overdrive, churning out countless explanations and theories about MJ's passing. One prominent theory suggested that MJ was deliberately eliminated and that the doctor was part of the plot all along. They also claimed that several medications were found at the singer's residence after his death, many of them listed under fraudulent names. According to a 2004 police report, the late singer was taking up to 40 anti-anxiety medications. As a result, fans believe that Dr. Murray was merely a victim of circumstances and should be let off with just a slap on the wrist. However, Paris Jackson, MJ's daughter, doesn't share those sentiments. Like her aunt LaToya, she believes her father was assassinated by people who were after his money and legacy. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Paris claimed that all the evidence points to this theory and that only true fans would understand it. He would drop hints about people being out to get him, she said, and at some point he was like, "They're gonna kill me one day." Asked by interviewer Brian Hyatt if she thought her father was 18-year-old replied, "Absolutely." Because it's obvious. All arrows point to that. It sounds like a total conspiracy theory, but all real fans and everybody in the family knows it. It was a setup. Paris Jackson believes that all true fans and family members know it was a setup and a lot of BS. However, unlike some fans and her aunt LaToya, she doesn't blame Dr. Conrad Murray entirely. Paris thinks the whole situation was like a chess game involving many people who had or wanted a stake in MJ's estate. She implied that the plot was far more complex and hinted that she knows more than she's letting on. By calling it a chess game, Paris suggested that revealing too much could complicate matters, as no one would want to take the fall for ending a musical icon whose fame and global reach could spell doom for anyone who tried to harm him. Thus, she believes the real culprits prefer to stay in the shadows and manipulate things from behind the scenes. So Paris decided to keep what she knew to herself, hoping she could achieve justice for her father once she became rich and powerful. If she couldn't, the 25-year-old model hoped that someday her dad would get the justice he deserved. Speaking to Rolling Stone magazine, she said, "I definitely do want justice, but it's a chess game, and I am trying to play the chess game the right way. And that's all I can say about that right now." However, Janet Jackson, the youngest of the Jackson family, took a different approach to dealing with the loss of her beloved and close brother. She apparently wanted no part of the conspiracy theories and media frenzy surrounding MJ's death. The whole situation was driving her crazy, so she decided to turn off the TV and tune out of the madness. However, his fans acknowledge that even though he's no longer with them physically, he will always remain in their hearts. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.